All right, guys, if you can take your seats, if you please take your seats. We got a lot of important information to close the morning. Hello, everyone. How are you? How's everyone doing? Wow. You know, I have been with ACN for more than 16 years, and I'm more excited today than any other time since I've been involved with ACN. Now listen, everyone, I know you've had a lot of recognition, but it's very important for the people that are sitting down that you all get to your seats, because I have a very, very important subject to cover. If you really want to be able to take your business to a next level, I really want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to teach you. I have been involved in the direct selling industry since 1989. That's about 25 years of experience. This industry changed my life. I had good experiences, I had bad experiences, but one day, a good friend of mine, George Zalicki, he and I decided to take Larry Raskin's invitation and meet the co-founders of ACN. Our biggest question was, who were we going to be in business with? We loved the concept of services, but we wanted to know, were we with the right people? Because we all begin our business as a follower. We have to follow someone. You have to trust someone. We decided to follow the co-founders of ACN. We felt they had the integrity, they had the heart, they had the passion for the people who were the independent distributors, they had experience as independent distributors, and they had a global vision to build a legacy that could change people's lives. So we became a follower. Now, Mr. Greg Provenzano once sat at the Circle of Champions meeting, and he said, Circle of Champions, what's your number one goal? What's your number one job? We all know we're supposed to get customers. We're supposed to build a group or recruit people and promote events. And he said, the number one job for everyone here, don't you want to know what Mr. Provenzano would say the number one job is? Of course you do. It's to identify and to develop leaders. But if you have no team, how are you going to be a leader? No one's going to follow. So my role today is to talk to you about how to sponsor. Now, we call it recruitment, but really recruitment sort of sounds like trying to convince somebody to do something they normally wouldn't want to do. So I like the idea that I'm enrolling people into a vision of possibility, enrolling them into the vision of what these products can do to improve their lives, enroll them into a vision of what this opportunity can do to improve their lives, enroll them into this amazing ACN environment which crosses race, religion, cultures, time zones, providing unprecedented possibility that's ever changing, and providing a new possibility for you and your business. Now here's the thing. I've been in this industry for a lot of years, a long time. And most people would say I've had a pretty wildly successful career as a network marketer. Wouldn't you understand that? We have built an enormous organization all over the world. George and I were the first to cross the stage as a senior vice president. We were the first to break a senior vice president, and we've continually realized that we don't know it all, and you have to keep learning. You have to keep educating yourself. So I want to talk to the newer people here at their first event, but I'm also talking to those that have been in the business for a while. I want you to understand there's a big difference between being an amateur and being a professional. A lot of people start our business, and the first thing you need to do is have a contact list. If you don't have someone to talk to, you're not going to go very far. See, there are the pretenders in the world, and most people you sponsor, they don't even make a written list. It's just a mental list. And they're hoping to get lucky and hit the lottery And next thing you know, they talk to somebody that turns into a Miriam or a Bosch. That's what they're hoping for. And then someone else makes them successful. But see, you don't want to be a pretender. You got to be at least an amateur. When I started, I was an amateur. I just put names on paper. They told me 50, 60, 100 names. But here's the problem. When you start going through the list and you get toward the end of that list, you get nervous that you don't know anybody else. What are you going to do? And people get afraid that they're not going to make it because they're running out of people to talk to. A professional networker. You want to be a professional networker? You have a never-ending list. You want to know how to build a never-ending list. Well, first of all, you empty your mind on paper. You have to think about everyone you know, put it on paper. In this exercise, think about all the friends that they know. We're all part of a network today. Social networks, the average person on Facebook has over 130 friends, so-called friends. So it's not difficult today to build up a contact list and then think of your friends' friends. So these are prospects for your products, prospects for your opportunity. And we always want to constantly expand the list. Just imagine, do you think you could add one new person every day to your list? Of course you could. I meet people every day. If you just live life, you're going to meet new people. So never worry you're going to run out of lists. But I learned to network on purpose. Just 2 weeks ago, I was in Phoenix, Arizona doing an event, and Regional Vice President Todd Stottlemyre, who was a former Major League Baseball player, won 3 World Series titles. He's a regional vice president with ACN. We're having dinner with his wife and my wife, and we're in an Italian restaurant, Authentic, and the waiter, Cornado was his name, was from Italy, and he had a heavy Italian accent. I started a little conversation. By the end of the meal, he was so curious about what I was involved in and the fact that I had business in Italy, we exchanged details and information. The next day, Todd Stottlemyre calls me and said, "Artie, I learned more at that dinner than I learned in a training." I said, "What do you mean, Todd?" He says, "Just the way you approach talking to people, sharing, not trying to pull and recruit and kind of beat them over the head with the opportunity. It was just a natural conversation that attracted curiosity to want to know what you had to offer him. I learned so much and realized you can network anytime, anywhere." Now, here's a very important thing for everyone to realize. You have to master the skill of inviting. It is a skill. If you're unsuccessful getting people to look at your opportunity or to try your products, you're not going to succeed. Isn't that true? If you can't get people to look at the opportunity or to evaluate the products, you're not going to make it. You know, when someone starts, they put their list together and they think, "Oh, this guy's going to be good because he knows all these influential people." And I have people call me all the time, "Could you do a call with so-and-so? They're super successful, super influential." And I love talking to people like that, but I also know the facts. Doesn't mean they're going to be more successful than someone else. It doesn't. Most of the big stories sitting in the front row, we didn't come from superstar backgrounds. Talk to Nassim Kibbe, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, we're all just basic, everyday people. I come from a rock and roll background. I was below broke at 29. I was not super influential, and we all know how our success turned out in ACN. So again, you don't need to have the person with the superstar on the list, but if you develop skills on how to communicate and talk to people the right way, you'll attract more people to your opportunity. And if your goal is to build a large, successful, duplicating organization, you have to learn these skills and become a teacher of basic core skills. For many, many conventions now, I've been doing these big picture talks. You know, if you've been in ACN a while, I like to talk about the industry, the economics. I talk about Paul Zane Pilzer as my mentor. I talk about the anti-aging industry and the direct selling industry. But the truth is, the core skill of inviting is the bottom line between failure or success of somebody. See, how are you perceived when you're talking to a prospect? Step back from your own prospecting and think about how you're perceived. Are you the hunter? I'm gonna get that guy. You know, we all know Darren Hardy, who's been a guest speaker, publisher of Success Magazine. Now, Darren has a book out, The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, and he talks about his youth when he was just starting into business, and he made a contact list for real estate, and he wanted to get that guy. And he kept basically pushing people away, because he was pulling. They were pulling away, and the balance was uneven. So he had to learn how to become a farmer. So again, do you like the feeling of someone trying to get you in? I want to get you, pull. No, you pull back. So we don't want to be around hunters. We avoid them. The most successful networkers in the world are more like the farmer. What is the farmer? He builds relationships. I didn't meet the guy at the restaurant, Coronado, at this Italian restaurant, and immediately jump on him and say, you gotta look at this business. You're from Italy, gosh, I gotta talk to you about Italy. No, I let the dinner progress naturally. Gave him a little bit each time he came over. He was busy. Talked to him a little bit the next time. But before we ended dinner, even though he was our waiter, we had built a relationship. He was ready and open for information. So really, I've become an expert at building friendships. That's what I love to do. I love to know people, meet people from different places. I want to build a bond of trust. Do you want to work with somebody you don't trust? So you want to build a relationship before you start sharing all the information about the opportunity. You want to be curious. You want to learn how to create curiosity. These are skills. If you're genuinely interested or curious about the person you're talking to learn what's interesting for them, what their interests are, then you can address how ACN can serve that interest. You can see how the products we have could give benefit to them to help them improve their lives. And the best networkers in any type of industry or business are skillful at transferring their beliefs about their products and services. And that's so important as we now move into the product business more deeply than just the Benavita weight management system. We had a taste of it about a year ago. And what really tipped it for us to become believers was not the compensation plan. That was exciting. But when people we know tried the products and received benefit. We saw them changing lives. We saw testimonials come across here. We've seen ACN promote all these stories of people's lives improving. And that's exciting. And so with these products, it's so important that you become a product of the product, that you experience the benefit and create that story, because if you don't believe, you will not be successful. If you don't think these are the greatest products ever in the history of anti-aging skincare and hair care and weight management and our services like telecom, etc., if you're not a believer in our services, how are you going to do this very well? You're not. See, some people, they have this shark mentality. They're going to win at all costs. They're out to make it happen, and sometimes, unfortunately, these are the people that lack integrity. They'll exaggerate the compensation, they'll exaggerate their earnings, they'll mislead people, and eventually you may recruit them because you make it sound too good, but then they find out you didn't tell them the truth and they stop following. And most of the time they disappear from your business. So don't have this shark mentality. Resist the urge to oversell our business. You're going to hurt yourself and you hurt the company, and that's not what we want for a long-term opportunity. It's not necessary. What we have is already too good. So be careful. Police yourself and your teams. Be more of a consultant. You know, a consultant. What is a consultant? In our business, a a person consults with people to provide a common sense solution to people's problems. See, I listen to people. I know if they need extra money, they're working 2 jobs, how to give them better opportunity. I listen to what they need and how I can provide them more time, give them more possibilities in their life. I provide education and understanding. Some of you are selling. I'm sorting. Now, I'm going to also tell you this. Resist pitching the opportunity directly. What do I mean by that? What's pitching the opportunity? You know, you might be great at presenting the ACN idea and exposing the possibility of ACN to people. You're so good at it that you recruit everybody. But if your team can't duplicate that, you failed, because you're only as good as yourself. What you want is a system that can duplicate whether you're there or not. Now, Mr. Provenzano said this at the leadership yesterday to the TCs and above. An organization is only great if it's great without you. I am so blessed to the leaders in our organization, because they've been doing it with or without me and George for years. They had to become their own leaders. They're inspiring me by how they take leadership. And it's great to let them become leaders and then serve them in whatever way I can be of value to them. And right now, how I feel I can be of value to everyone and what I'm going to be doing all through Europe aggressively as we bring new products is go back to the basics of teaching people how to be professionals in network marketing, because that's what I've become over years of practice. Here's the good news. You don't have to have any prior experience, college degree, or any previous skills. We can teach you how to develop. Now, what we do is like to invite for an event, or invite to look at a tool. You know, Mr. Wayne Holbrook, years ago, I knew him and as we both were in direct selling, and he was so good at developing a tool culture and a mentality about using tools so that you can create a duplicating organization. See, when you take your list, I never let people go to Facebook or go to Twitter and just put an email blast out to their friends. It's so impersonal, and you're not getting the right message across. It really comes down to FaceTime, and I don't mean the Apple app. I mean getting face-to-face with people. Especially someone that you really have a relationship with. You want them to feel special, like they really are someone you value, and you're just going to throw an email out to them? No, you want to have some FaceTime, maybe a one-on-one meeting, a two-on-one. We call them private business receptions, PBRs. Our teams in the US promote webinars twice a week. We promote conference calls. We have local meetings, business opportunity, regionals, nationals, and of course the international is it's the biggest social proof we have of this business works for people. So you've got to realize that it's a lot better to promote for an event or promote for a tool. See, we have tools that makes our business so much easier. You want to build an organization? Use the tools and train a system of letting the tools do the presenting. It allows you to duplicate and leverage your time. So we have the ACN online shop. We have the YBA Plus. I had a team coordinator in America. She struggled for the last several years. All of a sudden, her production took off. I said, Linda, what's happening? She goes, I've been using YBA Plus for recruiting. I'm sending people to my site. They're seeing the opportunity. I'm following up. I'm actually using the tools ACN provides. I was paying for it and not even using it. And I said, that's wonderful. Isn't it amazing when you actually follow what the company's outlined and you use it and then you find out it works? Of course, now we have videos. We're going to be making this even easier to access as we move forward, as new technology comes out to allow you to even use the videos that you saw today to present the idea of ACN. So you don't have to worry about presenting. You just have to worry about inviting people to see what we're doing. The magazines have the stories. Since we're not supposed to use income claims, which you never should use in our industry because it's misleading and it tends to get people exaggerating, just use the company documented materials about people's success stories. And now we're in the product business, more important than ever, you gotta share benefits. An amateur talks about features and all the science. a professional talks about benefits of how you will feel. They project how the opportunity or the products could change their life, and they share testimonials, their personal testimonial, their family testimonials. A personal testimonial is hugely powerful to get people to want interest, to create interest in your products and the opportunity. So we already know about using Shake It. I always told people, Wayne Holbrook and I sat down when we were starting. He said, Artie, in my experience in these types of products, you should have everybody buy an extra box of Shake It. There's 21 meal packages in there, and what you need to do is put 21 meals out. 21 meals in 21 days if you're very part-time, or go much faster. Give 3 shakes a day. If you get people to experience a product that tastes good, makes them feel full, it creates conversation. Those conversations could lead to a customer or a business partner. The toughest part of this whole process is your mind, the emotions of recruiting. You ever notice you have one voice, but then there's another voice? You know what I'm talking about? Well, I can do this. No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. And I'm back and forth. Now, if you have more than 2 voices, you need some help. We can't help you in ACN. But 2 voices is normal, you know? And so every step of the way, people are in, but they're not sure. They're in going forward, but they're getting negativity, and they're going to run into problems. They're going to run into people that doubt them. So it's very important, and what kept me in the business going back more than 20 years ago is when I heard a speaker say, stop worrying who becomes a customer. Stop worrying who becomes a representative. Just focus on getting the names off the list. They become a rep, wonderful. If they don't, ask them to be a customer. But either way, detach yourself from the outcome. When you're not worried about it, and they don't feel that you need them, you'll have a different success rate. In fact, enthusiasm can be good or bad. Enthusiasm can be contagious, but it can also frighten your prospects. So just be yourself. Don't try to be someone else. Be okay with whatever your personality type is, but show some passion for possibility. And don't be weak in your posture like, you know, I want you to look at this business. No, you want to be strong in your posture. Hey, you know, I got something very serious. Dominique, I need to talk to you. This is very serious. Francoise, you're my friend. I'm telling you, we've been friends for many years. I got a very strong possibility I want to talk to you about. And then use the tool. Let someone else help to expose the business so they can see how the system can duplicate. See, my goal, your goal, is to transfer the belief inside your heart about the products and the opportunities without being overbearing or overwhelming them. See, when you invite, there's a formula to it. You want to be urgent, because you don't want to be caught with being on the phone and trying to make a presentation. So urgency is very important. Hey, listen, Alex, I only have a few minutes. You know, I respect you as a businessman, and I have for many years. I compliment you, and now I'm going to make you an invitation. I'm going to say, and we're going to fill this in a minute, would you? So if I share some information, would you take a look at it? And then I'm going to get a commitment, and I'm going to reconfirm that commitment, and then I'm going to get off the phone. A big problem for amateurs is they talk somebody into being interested, and they talk them out of being interested before they even hang up the phone. This is something we've all done, and you want to avoid doing this. So let's talk about and break this formula down. First of all, sometimes there's a direct approach. These are for people you know and you respect. Okay, this is for someone like Nino Chacha, who I know for many years. And I call up Nino, say, Nino, you know I have a lot of respect for you in business. Okay, we've been friends a long time. I want to talk to you about partnering me on a project. That's direct. See, I know he's searching for something better, and I'm directly talking to him. Indirect, okay, and especially when I was younger, and I didn't have a lot of success in life. I used to be in a rock band with long hair, driving at 29 years old, a car with a hole in the floor. Who was going to listen to me? So I learned how to ask for help. Hey, listen, what I'd like to do is get your help. I got a new business I'm starting. I got a new product. I think this could be interesting. Could you give me your opinion? See, sometimes we call it the backdoor approach. See, this is non-threatening and usually takes people and they relax their their guard, they're not being defensive, and because I go to them and say, hey, listen, do you know anybody that might be interested? See, in fact, I remember I called you, Alex. I said, you in Philly, do you know anybody? If it's not for you, I know you got 2 other companies in Scotland, but if it's not for you, do you know anybody you could refer me to? And if you refer me to somebody, there could be something in it for you. Now, how could he say, no, don't send me some information, don't tell me more? See, you got to get people to look or you're going to fail. So you have to learn techniques to communicate, and the better you do at this, the better you're going to do at your business. So if I, again, presented a video, a website, a magazine, or if I gave you a special invitation to attend a short webinar or attend a private business reception, would you? See, the if I sets up the would you. So if I sent you to my online shop, would you review it? If I invited you to my private business reception where I'm launching my new business, would you accept the invitation and attend? Okay? Now, if they want more information, which is very common, hey, listen, I'd love to, Artie, but I want to know some more. Hey, listen, I understand, but everything you're looking for is going to be revealed at this presentation, or it's going to be, and remember, I was in a hurry. I don't really have a lot of time right now, and it would be unfair to try to explain this all. So I want to finish the inviting process. We started it, I want to finish it. So if I sets up the possibility of them saying, yes, I will attend. Yes, I will check out your website. Yes, I'll go to your YBA Plus recruiting website. Yes, I will review the video information, okay? Then you want to reconfirm, okay? Well, listen, when do you think you could do that for sure? For sure. In English, we say for sure. When would you be able to review that for sure? When can you review my webpage for sure? Now, if again the prospect is vague, you need to be very clear to them. Listen, I really don't want to waste your time. Filippo, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Why don't we just lock in a time? Why don't we lock in that time to review it? When can I do it? Okay? Now, here's what's very important. We've now invited, we got someone interested. They've committed, right? But you got to always be ready to tell your story. If you can't tell your story, you're not going to be successful. So what is your background? You need your background. The things that you don't like about your situation. Hey, listen, I was a rock musician. I was sick and tired of being broke. How ACN offered a solution and the benefits from using the products. You need to always have your story. You need to take time to really craft your story. Share the results of your business building. If you've been successful, you want to share that. If you're not successful yet, or you're new, share how you feel about the future. That's what you need to do. So again, the only reason that we present the opportunity is to lead to a customer or to lead to a representative, and the only reason to have one exposure is to set up the next exposure. You may have heard this saying before, but the fortune is in the follow-up. We have people all the time that pique people's interest and then they don't follow up. See, recruiting people or sponsoring isn't one presentation or one tool, it's a process, not a single event. And many people are so unprofessional that they don't keep their word, they're not on time. How do you respect a person that doesn't keep their word and isn't on time and doesn't do what they say? See, poor results in building an organization is a reflection of poor and inconsistent follow-up. Great results, the people who are the best, and you know who they are, they're really consistent and effective with their follow-up. So one thing we've learned is when you have someone in process, you never ask them, what do you think? It just really, normally, I've had poor results when I've said that. And it sets an unrealistic expectation that that person is supposed to all of a sudden say, yeah, I'm in. See, the follow-up process often is where you make it or break it. And you're often going to be frustrated in this process because you're going to find out that they didn't show up to the meeting, or they didn't go to the webinar, or they didn't go to your online store, or they didn't review the video. The one thing you never want to do is show displeasure. Never show displeasure. I say to somebody, Alex, you didn't get to see it? No problem. I know life gets busy. Well, when do you think you will be able to review it for sure? Now remember, they're setting up the appointment and you're just keeping your word by following up. Now if they say yes, you say, what did you like best? What did you like best? Then I might say, on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, 1 being you have 0 interest in what I'm sharing with you, 10 meaning you're ready to get started right away, where would you see yourself? Now, whatever number they say, ask them, how can I help you to get a higher number? Ask them, how can I, that's what a professional would do. Ask more questions, be curious. How do I get you to a higher number? So where do we go from here? That's another thing I like to say to somebody. Where do we go from here? They might want to try the products next. See, each exposure goes to the next exposure. If there's a positive tone, their reaction to what you're sharing with Illumine or with Benevito or with our services is positive, the next appointment is what you want to set up. And maybe a 3-way call. Bring a new person into the conversation. See, never end one exposure without the next exposure. And to me, 3-way calls is a daily activity. I do 3-way calls every day to help people talk to the prospect that's in process. It's another exposure. See, one of the biggest problems is we need to condense the exposures. Condense the exposures. Inconsistent and sporadic follow-up. It's like you're starting all over each time. Each time you're starting over. So if I show somebody something this week, and then next week I show them another exposure, and 2 weeks later I get on the phone again, it's just starting over every time. So that's painful. Be consistent. Here's what's better. A phone call, let's get face-to-face, a presentation, maybe a webinar, maybe a video, a magazine, your ACN online shop, your recruiting website, a Saturday training, a 3-way call. If you do some of these or most of these in 1 week, you will either find out if they're interested as a rep or a customer. That is the way to follow up. Keep a journal, a diary, put all your list of people and follow up. It's a recruiting funnel. It's a sponsoring funnel. Now, in traditional advertising and marketing, it takes many, many exposures to leave an imprint in the brain to buy a product or service. Now, what we have here is we want to be able to get people through 3 to 6 exposures, which is normal for recruiting people into our business. Now, you're going to run into questions. You're going to have what I call concerns, objections, people call it. Okay, remember our goal is education and understanding. Questions are helpful. And when you get somebody that appears negative, that's not a bad thing. They're exposing their concerns and allows you to address their concern. If you're good at listening and you're a professional, you'll deal with them with full confidence and with strong posture. See, most people that are negative to what we're sharing with ACN or with our products, they fall into 2 categories. They either have a limiting self-belief in their abilities to be successful, or that person, that prospect, isn't sure network marketing is for real. And they're not sure that it can help them achieve their life goals. So often you'll hear things like, is this MLM? Is this network marketing? Now, identify the emotion. If they're very upset, is this network marketing? You need to say, hey, do you have a story? What happened? Okay. Maybe they've joined a network marketing company before and it didn't work out so well. Identify that emotion. And here's some questions you might ask. Well, what do you think was the reason that you didn't have success? Do you think you gave it a fair shot? Do you think it was MLM, which was the problem? Or do you think the timing just wasn't right for you? See, a professional knows how to ask these questions to probe and create curiosity and let them open their mind to realistic thinking about the situation, and it may turn them into a possible partner for you. Now, this is common. I don't want to bother my friends. How many have heard I don't want to bother my friends? We hear this all the time. You need to ask the question. See, this is identifying a limiting self-belief. What makes you think you'll be bothering your friends? And let them talk. If you truly believed in the service or the potential of this business and that it can help people, wouldn't you want to share it? Wouldn't you want somebody to share it with you? Get skillful at saying that. If I could show you how we could share this opportunity and products without it sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? See, you want to expose people and ask questions. Become a professional. Oh, how much are you making? And you're brand new. You know, how many have heard how much you're making? okay? Hey, I'm just getting started. Tell your story. Remember, we've crafted the story, and share the story of others. If you've been in a while and you're not making big money, that's not unusual. Tell them, hey, look, I've been part-time. I've been very excited about this. And now with our new transition, we can become a market maker with these new products that have never been in the market before, with Illumine, with Peter Lamas, with Benavita. It's a huge new story for ACN. So tell your story and the stories of others. Now that we've got people from the list, we've got people through the invitation, we're doing our follow-up, we got to get a decision at some point. Either they want to be part of it or they don't, or they're going to be a customer or they're not. So there's different ways that we can do this. The key to success is good posture, good questions. Here's the amateur. They're not prepared. They don't have any materials. They act needy. I need you, please join. They have poor posture. They project lack of belief, lack of professionalism. They talk. They like to hear themselves talk some more, and they're not listening. People, let them talk about themselves. Let them reveal themselves to you. See, professionals' approach to closing. They're emotionally detached, like we said. They're assumptive. I assume everybody I talk to is going to join. I absolutely think that's my secret, because I believe what we have is so powerful. I expect people to join because because my belief in the opportunity is benefiting that person so much. That's why I'm sharing it. I'm not sharing it for my goals. I used to do that, and it didn't work for long. I started to realize, really care, really care, and understand what you could do to help that person as a consultant, okay? You do that, and your whole business will change. See, promote as joining. Hey, listen, I can't do it for you, but you get me too. Let them know up front, you're not gonna do it for them. You don't want a dependent rep. But if they're going to take one step, you'll take two. So always be prepared. Be prepared to have the materials to get people started. Be genuinely curious, ask questions, and definitely exhibit that consultant mentality. Again, reviewing, emotionally detached, assumptive, they're going to join, you get me, have the tools, the products to start them, ask questions, be interested in their possibility, and rather than trying to be interesting to them. Never ask, what did you think? Instead, try, did this make sense to you? What did you like best? Pretty exciting, isn't it? Can you see how this would be a great opportunity for you? And how we could team up and make this work? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you have 0 interest, 10, you're ready to start. Where do you see yourself? Great question. Wayne Holbrook taught me this years and years before when he was a representative. I was in a training Wayne did, and he said, do you see any reason why you wouldn't get started today? I said, Wayne, that's brilliant. And I've been using that ever since. And Wayne, if you're back there, you taught me that years ago, and that served me well for a long time. Now, another way to close or to get a decision is a 4-part question, 4 different questions that could let the prospect really let them sponsor themselves into the business. So I might say to my friend, okay, I might say to my friend Miguel, hey, Miguel, part-time, how much would you have to earn to make this worth your time? Just part-time. Okay, 1,000, 2,000 euros a month. Okay, that's great. Well, Miguel, question 2. How many hours are you willing to commit to develop that type of income? 5 to 10 hours a week, 10 to 20 hours a week? And one last question. How many months would you work to develop that kind of income? Let them tell you. See, there's a training I learned from another speaker, Alan Pease. The questions are the answers. You ask the question, let them make the answer, and then it's truthful for them. It's believable. Now, if they give you something ridiculous, like I want to make $10,000 a month working 2 hours a week for 1 month, say, hey, look, you got to be more realistic than that. You don't want to exaggerate it. But see, you tie all these questions together for a wonderful close. Hey, listen, Miguel, if I could show you how to make that 1,000 or 2,000 euros a month, answer to question 1, that was his words. Working, he said, 10 to 20 hours a week, part-time, over the next, let's say, 6 months. That's realistic. Now, what I want to do is say, are you ready to start? And if he needs more clarity, let's pull out the compensation plan and show him how the system works and how we could build up a team, market some products to make some extra money, and build up a group to get to 1,000 to 2,000 euros a month. Now that's realistic. So with everything I've shared with you, just tying it all together, if you learn what I shared and you master what I shared, you can go from amateur status to professional status. But here's also what I want you to know in closing. You don't wait to get started. Don't wait to be perfect. Some people, they think they got to be perfect to get started. That's not the truth, okay? Too many people are in that mindset of getting ready to get ready instead of going to work. This is an earn while you learn program. You will get better as you go forward. We have a unique opportunity in the ACN business right now in Europe. You get to be on the ground floor of a new business without the risk of a startup company. You have a chance to be a market maker with new products that are not Me Too products. You have a chance to change the future of your family. Are you up for it? Are you up to change the future of your family? I hope so, because at the end of the day, it's up to you. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.